Hello, everyone. Welcome to our interview today. I do these about once a month with somebody within our own community that is a meditator. So my name is Brandy Wolf. I am the owner and founder of Golden Alchemy Meditation. And I am also a certified Master of Wisdom and meditation teacher through the David G. Academy. So today we are meeting with the lovely Miss Lisa Atkinson. And I just want to share a little bit about her. So you know who Lisa is if you haven't met her. If you have met her, well, then you already know how fabulous she is. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of her bio here. Lisa has spent the majority of her life dedicated to healthcare, specifically as a physical therapist. Over the years, she's had the privilege of practicing in various settings, from hospitals to outpatient clinics, rehabilitation centers to home health care. Her passion for healing led her to take on leadership roles, including Director of Rehab, Regional Director, and Project Manager. Those are some really big titles too, with a lot of responsibility. Throughout her career, she honed her expertise in advanced manual therapy techniques, craniosacral therapy, and became certified in lymphedema management and aquatics. And these skills allowed her to provide comprehensive care to individuals in all stages of their healing process. And she's always felt a deep sense of fulfillment in helping others regain their strength and vitality. And she is the oldest of 5 siblings. Caregiving comes very natural to her. She has this innate quality that has allowed her to connect with her patients on a really profound level. And she's offered them support and encouragement that they need on their journey to recovery. And on a personal note, she is blessed to be married to the love of her life, Glenn. And together they have 4 wonderful children, and they've graduated college, embarked on their own life, career paths. All of this just fills Lisa with immense joy. She is the first generation in her family to graduate from college, and watching her children represent the second generation of graduates is a dream come true for her. In 2018, she made the decision to retire early, having achieved the serenity and contentment she had always desired. Her and Glenn now call Boise, Idaho home. They've embraced a life of adventure, indulging in activities like fly fishing, kayaking, river rafting, traveling to breathtaking destinations like Costa Rica, Cancun, New Zealand. And they firmly believe that life is too short not to savor every moment. And each morning, her and Glenn start out their day with Sanskrit mantra music, enjoying quiet moments by the fireplace, engaging in guided meditation, regardless of the weather. And this routine has brought them profound peace and has been instrumental in maintaining their sense of serenity and joy during their retirement years. Her life journey has been tumultuous, but she is living proof that one can find true love, create a beautiful family, and lead a life filled with joy despite its rocky beginnings. And she hopes that her story serves as an inspiration to all, demonstrating that with determination, resilience, and a commitment to self-care, one can find the serenity and happiness they've always longed for. Wow. That is a lot. It's so much. If you're so diverse.
I'm a lot. I'm a lot. You know that.
It's all a lot that I love. So every bit of you.
Thank you.
So with all of that said, you've been through so much and you've done so much. You're very accomplished, but you have a very strong spiritual side too. So where do you think ultimately your spiritual journey began?
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, Brandy. It's an honor to be here. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. When you have trauma as a child or some issues as a child, we all have to cope. We just have to cope. So we even talked about my coping very young age, being the oldest of 5, and those 5 were born within 6 years. And they were born to a 16-year-old mother. So I just became a mother role. But I needed breaks because I didn't know what I was doing when I was 8 running a household. So my bike, when I got that Huffy, that gold Huffy bike, I took off for hours at a time. And I had no idea, because I'm super athletic anyway, but I didn't know what I was doing. But it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, just to get the pedals and get up that hill. So it started really young on a bike, getting away, and then coming back able to handle the chaos in the household. And then it transitioned to roller skates, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours at a time. Back in the 70s, you could just leave and no one even notices you gone for hours, as long as you have your chores done.
That's
So
right. That's right.
I think it started with that. That felt like a mantra to me. That felt like peace. That felt like release. And so I go that far back because I've always craved that. So I think a lot of kids cope with all the things we have to deal with, maybe with their bikes or their crafts or the things that they love. So it started at a young age without knowing it. And then, then it transitioned to some more things that were more structured, like, well, my life is a series of miracles. I used to call it a series of traumas. It is a series of miracles. And so one thing that I learned at a young age in my early 20s was the American version of Tai Chi. And I have no idea why I went. I think someone must have forced me to go. I was out of the house, and then they teach you breathing and movement at the same time, which I loved. And I felt that energy like through my body. My legs were shaking when I couldn't hardly drive. And I was like, what's this energy thing? Oh my gosh. And I'm in PT school, so I'm saying that's not scientifically proven. And I'm like, yeah, but my body's shaking with all this. I didn't know what it was. So I loved it. And I started teaching at a young age, Tai Chi. And I eventually incorporated that into my care with stroke patients, because you're working both sides of the brain and it's very easy movements, and you can do it in a wheelchair. And you can label that as proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, just so you know. But
I love it.
So I was just very creative with it. And then the funniest thing happened when I graduated in 1986. Kaiser Permanente started this weird program for pain management, and they pushed it off on the new grad. And they're like, you're going to go in this dark room, you're going to breathe with these people in pain, and you're going to take them through a guided meditation. This happened to me in 1986. And I'm like, oh, I'm the beta group. I don't know about that, So I've been exposed to lots of things until you're ready to receive it. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But when you're doing guided meditation and breathing, you're getting the benefit as much as they are. Just like with manual therapy, it's an energy exchange. So I couldn't put it into words back then, but the evolution came from like incidents like that. I've had those miracles come into my life where I was open, my heart was open enough to do the Tai Chi class. My heart was open enough to be the beta person on pain management and breathing. And so now it's evidence-based. And I love that, because I love how you bring the science into it, and then the actual experience of that energy exchange. And I've known it my whole life, but I do have problems with my throat chakra. I couldn't speak it because my colleagues do get worried about me when I speak about the energy stuff.
Yeah, well, if you don't understand it, I can see how that could be concerning, but yeah, it's all studied now.
Yeah, and so that just led one thing to another. I probably have many other miracle situations that brought me back. It just keeps bringing me back. Through church, you learn prayer and meditation, and the music's really important to me. Decades of church. And then I think one of the final things was I was involved in a very big drug family. So there's drugs all around me. I didn't know it till I was older, and that I had a drug kind of house. And so I drove to this thing for Al-Anon to learn how to hate the disease and love the person, because I'm always attracted to love, and hatred feels really bad for me. So I have to figure out how to turn that into love. It's been my whole life. And they taught me, like in a structured program, which I need, how to love the person. And you can hate the disease, but you have things like live and let live, and then the serenity prayer. And that carried me through all the other programs. It's like, I come from this, but I don't have to be that. And I don't have to be the victim of someone abused me. I'm like, yes, there's some, yeah, okay. But
Mhm.
how did I cope? We all cope. I cope with that program. That program was a good program for my personality because it put every step and it kept me accountable, because as an untreated Al-Anon, I could be super manipulative. There was definitely issues with
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
And so control issues that came up. So I did love the idea of someone like calling me out on my stuff, because I have a very strong personality. And that program got me very centered and gentle and compassionate, and it felt like love. So I do love all those principles I got from all the decades of church, all the decades of these programs. And then when I met you, coming all the way fast forward, it became both sides. The science side makes sense. The all the tools you give us, we can take or leave what we like, which I love. And
Mhm.
I think the final, actually before you, was the Reiki certification. So I'm a
Yes.
manual therapist. I feel energy. I want to find out what this Reiki thing's all about. I became certified and I love it. And for the first time in my life, I didn't make it a business. I made it
Yeah.
for myself and family. So I am
What a
Reiki
gift.
certified. So that's kind of the journey. It's a little bumpy and strange, but I have a feeling there's some people out there that hoped from a child to your, college days or your 20s and all the things. I mean, there's always big bumps in between that we could talk about later, but that's the general journey, and it's not linear. It is
It
bumpy
is.
bump, bumpity bump.
It is. And I love that you relate meditation all the way back to childhood, because meditation is a natural state of being. It's very natural to want to be in the present moment. And I love that you relate it back to just counting, on your Huffy bike, counting when you're roller skating, because that's a natural thing for the child mind to do, but it also keeps them in the present moment naturally. I mean, it's really beautiful. And, like I've shared with you many times, that I was meditating as a teenager and didn't even really know it. I had no idea I was meditating. It was very natural for me just to bring myself into present moment, to calm me down and to feel that goodness of letting the chatter go to the wayside, or being on my bike, listening to the wheels go over the gravel. I mean, it was just so present moment. So I love that you just pull that right back to, look, this is when it started for me. And then it just kept coming back into my life. That's like the universe saying, Lisa, we're still here.
Lots of angels around me.
That's right. That's right. So now with meditation, I know now you're a consistent meditator. When did that start for you? Like, when did you start consistently meditating?
I think 3 years ago with the Reiki certifications, there was a true strength and connection there. And it did cause a lot of fear in me, because it's a lot of letting go and opening your heart. And my heart has
Mhm.
pretty much been open. That's why it's been hurt, but I don't care. And I still keep it open. That's my personality. Um, and I just saw the value in it. I've been through two huge, horrible health issue things, and I dabbled and then didn't dabble with it. And I have been divorced, and there was a lot of judgment and humiliation around that. And so then I dabbled, and then I knew I went during those three major crises in my life. I went right to it. And then when life felt back to normal, so I can ignore what just happened to me, then I would lose it. So it was probably when I became Reiki certified. After that, I went on a 6-day trip on Hell's Canyon where you could do nothing but that.
Yes.
And my husband came with me, and we both had the secure knowing that we do need to start our days like this so that we can be better for others. We have a lot of freedom now in our retirement, and we can be the older person in the room. He's the oldest at his work. I'm the oldest in many of my, and we can just be that wisdom maybe, or that calm that some people need without even saying a word. So a lot of people attribute them feeling safe with me. And I love that because that's what I want. I want people to feel safe with me. And so I think it was the real discipline of it. Like this morning we did, we do it every morning. And then at night, if there's cool things going on outside, we're out there at night too.
Yeah, we were outside last night with a big fire.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it felt so nice. It felt so good just to sit there in the peaceful evening and watch the fire dance.
Yes.
So you started kind of a more consistent practice than a little bit later in life. Yeah. So it's never too late. It's never too late to do a formal practice.
That was said to me when I walked down the aisle at 50. It's never too late. So that is true.
It's not. It's never too late to be in love. It's never too late to see something for yourself. And it's never too late to start a consistent practice. It's like to the 90-year-old that's still smoking. It's never too late to quit smoking.
I know that.
Yeah. It's like, it's just never too late. So, what do you feel like overall having a consistent practice? Like, so you have a very clear process and a very clear understanding of your life and who you are as a human being and your role and your place. So now that you have been meditating more on a consistent level, what do you feel like it's done for you?
Well, let's start with Eagle Road. When people cut me off or do things, I am so nice to them. I'm like, go to the other side. I'm like, oh, they must be in a hurry. I am too, but I'm just going to pull back. I'm going to just, I just feel like I get triggered, but then I get triggered for only a second. And then I'm like, no. And my day flows, even if I'm late somewhere. And if I'm, in a situation, it doesn't last as long. It doesn't linger because I learned at a young age of forgiveness. That's part of it. And then I learned that if you can flow down the river and take the ease and flow that your life offers you for the day, it's just, you end up in the evening looking back at a better day. If I don't meditate, I'm going to be saying words that I shouldn't have in my mouth, and I will. And I'll do things that are less graceful and less compassionate. And so it just brings me to a flow that at this age I should be bringing into the world, because I see everyone with, new new wives and new, all the phases in their life, kids, new career, I see all the phases that I've been through. So I'm ahead of the game, and I want people to see, like, even earlier than life and catch it earlier than I did, that you can have all of those things, but in a different way. And it is being present, but it's also, I think it brings out a lot of compassion and grace. And I'm not perfect at it because I'm still human, but I am better at it. And like I said, our traffic is always, I've been traveling a lot lately, and traffic is always the good test for me on how I'm doing that day. Traffic's a good test. There's a couple tests that I like to focus on during the day, of how I'm doing, and if I meditated enough, or maybe I need to do. I love your car meditations in the driveway thing. I'm like, I problem solve every day with my new career, my new job, my new legacy. I problem solve, and people come at me like, whoa. And I'm just like, let's start with number one. Let's start with number two. And, I can do that now. And I think I've always been able to do that as a physical therapist, but I don't get into their energy. I'm always like, that's not mine. That is theirs. Here's mine. And so I like that. We used to call it in my program, keeping my side of the street clean. This is my energy I have to offer. And sometimes it's great for people, and sometimes and then that's your energy, but it's not my business. What your energy is. It's not my energy to fix it, or but if I can affect it just by being this, that's all I can offer. And so it's still hard for me, but that's a boundary that it's been helping me to say, oh, that's not mine. I love that, because I thought everything was mine in the past. And it's so nice to say, that's not mine.
Yeah,
that's yours, and
that's
this
yours.
is mine.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Your side of the street, boundary boss, Terry Cole.
yeah, well, that comes from Al-Anon, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of different, I've heard it in multiple different places, but
yeah,
that's the first
it's
thing that pops up in my head is boundary boss. You need to stay on your side of the
yes.
street and keep your
And
lane clean.
my kids quote that.
Yeah.
Jesse's not keeping his side of the street clean, Mom. I mean, that came out of my kid's mouth.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I love that you learned that from Al-Anon and that it helped you so much because Al-Anon is a very important service.
Oh, it was
Um,
great for me.
yeah,
It was great
it's
for me.
very, very important. And
Yes.
I learned a lot of things later in life, and I often feel like when I was younger, I could have very much benefited from going to Al-Anon. So, so when you have a specific meditation ritual of what you do in the morning, what does that look like for you and
We
Glenn?
wake up very early. We go to sleep at night with some kind of vibration. It's been so cool. I mean, like lately, Glenn picks it sometimes and it has to resonate with us, but I don't even know where that started, but I started it. And it's usually a healing vibration. It's 528 hertz. You can find
Yes.
any kind of program like that on YouTube. And it's just this music kind of background thing that's supposed to be some kind of healing. And we dabble with it and we actually love it. And lately he's been doing some other vibrations, which I do fine. But last night we had like all these dreams. We're like, we're changing our vibration. So we're like, so that's where it starts in the night.
Yeah.
And we sleep very well. We get the 8 hours of sleep. We wake up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, pretty fresh.
Yeah.
And so we wake up to Sanskrit music, and I listen to Deva Premal most of the time because I like Deva Premal because she has 108 of a verse that she'll say. So if you want to meditate, she counts the 108 for you. So you have your mala and you can count, the 108 if you
Yes.
want, which I love when I'm by myself. But she does it for you. So I am always looking for efficiency, So,
Yes.
so we wake up to that, and now we're advancing to different type of artists it's just what feels beautiful. And I've always wanted to wake up to beautiful music. So Alexa knows all my music. And so we just slowly start moving, and then we do move into the backyard with our blankets and our slippers and sometimes coffee, and just into the backyard first and have quiet. And then we light an incense, and we just started doing that recently because I finally got some good ones that I love. And it's still quiet. And then we do choose a guided meditation most of the time. And it's usually 17 to 34 minutes. I'm not sure what those numbers mean, but I'm sure they mean something. And we open our hearts to that in our own separate way. Birds come in our backyard, we just feel all the things. And then we might pull an oracle card or something to say, this is what to think about for today, if it's love or writing or journaling. And then we slowly start moving around, maybe have our breakfast after that. So it's just a beautiful morning thing. And when we're camping, we do it more because we're out there camping. And so you'll come to our campground, and we camp once a month when we can, and you'll see all the things that we do. And people are like, what are these people doing? But we're out there on the river doing it. So
even more
we'll
beautiful.
take it. We do take it with us when we travel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about a beautiful meditation practice. You can do it anytime, anywhere. And the benefits that you talk about just like even in traffic, even though that sounds so simple, just to be able to go, you know what, I'm more calm in traffic.
For sure.
That is like huge. I mean, that means you're getting from point A to point B with less stress, with more calm, which you're showing up there with more grace, more love. You're coming with more of an open heart instead of flipping people off, shaking your fist at them, yelling through the window, and showing up at the next place with all this anger and agitation and yuck on you, which then ripples throughout the room. So I mean, that is a big thing because the benefits of meditation show up in our life as we're engaging. And it's an incredible difference in just being, So I love that you mentioned that, and that your ritual is very specific. I mean, starting at the time you go to bed at night. It's like your meditation begins right before bed. That's really, I think we could all take a page out of that book.
Yeah, 8 hours of really solid sleep, and when it's 7 hours, it's still solid sleep. I mean, it's good sleep. So
Yeah.
that's huge for people our age.
Yes. Yes.
Any age, probably.
Absolutely. So, if somebody, what would you say to somebody that is thinking about adding meditation as a practice to their life, but they're unsure about it?
I would probably ask them where they are. Do they know anything about
Mhm.
prayer, meditation, quiet time, and start where you are? Because I think everyone has something they do to calm themselves down, like crocheting. I'm a quilter. A lot of my quilty ladies, they definitely will quilt for hours, and that calms them. So I would say start where you are. You're probably doing something already to cope with stress, some kind of breathing. If you're in yoga, or if you're I take bar classes, we do breathing, a lot of breathing in our bar classes, as hard as they are. So I would ask them, where are you with your daily routine and what calms you down? And, and if I would think people have something, and if they don't, I would just start with breath.
Yeah.
It's like, that 4 breath thing that you do is like
breathing.
the box breathing. I would say, do you want to try something? I would probably start with box breathing if they don't already have something that they're doing, especially with our younger people. I mean, even my son, he came to visit one time, and I was a little stressed. I think it was over COVID, because our kids kept moving back in without telling us. And we're like, wait, we need different food. And I was stressed out because I'm like, I want to make sure everyone has what they need. And my son took my hand into the bedroom and sat me on the floor and took me through a guided meditation on the beach. I was like, this is my kid. And so I didn't know he was doing meditation, and he had to remind me that I was stressed out, playing mom. And he's like, you don't have to make the perfect meals and all the things. And so I would just start where you are, and talk to us, and then eventually see what you're comfortable with. It might be more prayer groups in church. It might be a program that makes sense to you. It might just be breathing, and it might just be the hikes and walking. It might be that 15-minute walk every day, and it might be rollerblades and a bike. You never know. Kayak.
And I'm going to preface that too. If you do the walking, do it without technology.
Right.
Don't take technology with you. Like, I mean, if you have to watch time, you have to watch time, but just, we know that, life happens outside of meditation, but listen to the birds, listen to the footsteps, listen to the traffic, listen to the things that are happening around you to bring you into that present space while you're out there, doing the 15 minutes of whatever it is.
Yeah, if you keep it simple, I think that's what happened for me. These little doses that I had in my life, I always did come back to them. I could probably teach an American version of a Tai Chi class right now. I can teach I Chi in the water right now if I want to. I can teach breathing. I can teach that pain management that I used to do. I can teach diaphragmatic breathing. Who knew that all of that would come together at my retirement, where I'm like, oh, that's wisdom, and that's skills, and some, bringing people into the world without the fear of letting go of themselves too much. I mean, I believe in an open heart, and I can feel a closed heart really fast. I'm sensitive that way, and I'm not as judgmental on it. I'm like, oh, there's a closed heart, and there's always a reason why, and there's all the things. But if they can see an open heart, maybe that's enough, And so that's how I'm moving through the world these days. And it's not perfect for me, because like I said, I'm human, and I'm a very intense person. I'm a lot, but I have a place to go to manage all that.
That's right. And there's nothing there's nothing wrong with being a lot. I'm a lot too. I think Matt would say that about me.
Yeah, our husbands know that our husbands know the true meaning of that.
That's right. They do.
And it's part of why they married us, but now they're like, oh, there it is.
There it is.
There
There's
she
the
is.
woman I married.
Yes. That's why our husbands are friends. They need
That's
each other.
right. They do. They need to lean on each other.
They know what they've both gotten into.
Uh, oh, this has been so awesome. Well, will you join me in a quick meditation?
Yes, thank you so much for doing this.
Okay, so, all right. So if you're watching this and you want to join us for a really quick meditation, won't be too long, just a few minutes. Just get comfortable wherever you are at. Feet on the floor, sitting, laying down if you want to, however is comfortable for you. Just get comfortable. And let's take a long, slow, deep breath in through our nose and release through our mouth. Let's breathe in again through our nose. And release through our mouth and gently close your eyes and relax your shoulders. We're just going to do a little bit of Tonglen today, which is an exchange. We're going to bring in something we would like to embody and let go of something that we would not desire to embody. And it's a breathing meditation. So we're going to start with our first breath, and we are going to breathe in love. Breathe in deep through your nose. And let fear out through your mouth. Breathe in compassion through your nose. Let go of criticism through your mouth. Breathe in empathy through your nose. Breathe out judgment through your mouth. Breathe in wellness through your nose. Breathe out dis-ease through your mouth. Breathe in kindness, deep breath. Let go of agitation. Breathe in abundance. Let go of poverty. Breathe in love. Breathe out fear. Now we're going to put some of that goodness back out there into the world. So let's breathe in some love. Breathe out love. Breathe in compassion. Breathe out compassion. Breathe in empathy. Breathe out empathy. Breathe in kindness. Breathe out kindness. Breathe in abundance. Breathe out abundance. Breathe in love. Breathe out love. And now just bring your breath back to equilibrium and let the stillness and silence settle in for just a moment. And together, let's take one last breath in and release. And whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Namaste. Well, thank you, dear friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Best interview ever. So thank you for helping me feel safe.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm so glad you accepted my invitation. You've been on my mind with this for months, actually, because of just who you are. And I know that you have your consistent practice and you are so open. You have such a beautiful heart that truly is just open and giving, and you wrap everybody in just loving, juicy Lisa essence all the time. So
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be here. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And for all of you that are watching, if you want to follow Lisa, you can actually follow her on Instagram at Boise Bra Lady. Isn't it just at Boise Bra Lady?
That's who I am.
That's who she is. So you can follow her there. You can connect on Facebook, Polka Dots, member of the women's group. We both are. You can connect with her in a lot of lovely places, and you won't be sorry that you did. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me at Golden Alchemy Meditation on Instagram, or you can join my private group on Facebook, and that is also at Golden Alchemy Meditation as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching, and to all those beautiful souls out there, namaste.
Namaste. Bye.